Hello, guys, and greetings to everyone that is listening to me. This is another week, and we're here to look at what market has for us. From our analysis last week, you realize that everything is playing out according to how we analyze it. And so this week, let's look at it and see if there are a few changes or we're still going by the previous direction that we discussed. If you are new to this channel, please do well to subscribe to the channel and also click on the notification bell so that anytime I drop a new video like what we're discussing today, you would be able to be the first to be prompted in order for you to be in tune with whatever we are discussing. And you are old and you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do well to subscribe so we become one big family as we move along in our journey of this forex business. Now let's look at what we have for the week. The week had already begun, so this is a midweek analysis that we're just going to have for today till Friday. Now, this was the analysis we were having for last week through to this week. As you can see, this area where we have the red line was the area that we were looking at. Should price be able to break above that area, then it means that we would be looking for buying opportunities to the upside. But since price hasn't been able to break above, the whole deal is for us to keep selling or we continue to sell. So since 3 months now, we have been bearish, and up to now, we are still bearish on gold. Now, when you look at it, since price has not been able to move above this and has respected our zone for us, we are still looking for more buying opportunities to drop to the downside. The buy or the sells that we are having, if you would remember, we picked it from the daily time frame, which is this area that we were looking at. That if price is able to respect this zone, then it basically tells us that we are going down more. And so once price is able to break this level, then finally we will be able to get to our target of 3860, which is our first target area that we are looking for in terms of the direction for sales. So since price is playing out as we expected it, let's just have a look at a few areas of concern that we think would be of importance to us between today and that of tomorrow and Friday. So I'll clear this chart up. I'll clear the chart up and then we reanalyze the chart together. Okay, so let's start from the weekly level. We understand that we are bearish and we continue to be bearish as the structure keeps informing us. Now, from the monthly level, we marked an area here, which is our 3860. So that's our 3860 zone. That's the area we marked as our short-term TP as gold is moving downwards, our short-term TP for gold. And our long-term TP showed 3860 break, then it means that we will be targeting 3290. That is what we will be targeting. So I will leave those areas there, and then we use it as we analyze the charts along. So these are the areas that we are looking at: 3285 long-term TP, and then our short-term TP is 3860. That's what we are looking for. That's coming from the monthly level as price continues to drop. Now let's look at the weekly level, and then we see how we'll be able to get entry criteria into the zone. We can clearly see that price has given us an impulsive move correction, and we have an impulsive move coming down. Now, this particular impulsive move that we are having, you would be able to tell that inside the impulse move that we are having here, we also have some impulse corrections, or we also have some movement being made by price. So you can see we have the impulse, correction, impulse, correction. We have impulse, correction. And so we expect this to give us an impulsive move. So if we are having this as an impulsive move, I'm expecting it to break 3860, which would respect and continue to this particular final TP that we are looking at. So if we are still bearish and we are looking at price respecting these levels for us, where are we going to target? Remember, this was our major sell zone that we were looking at since last 2 weeks for price to be able to come to. This was our major base that we were looking at, that should price be able to retrace with this particular candle as it started a retracement. We're looking at price coming into this zone, then we continue to sell. But looking at what price is doing right now, you can see price is basically respecting this resistance that we are having here, this current resistance. That is what price is currently respecting in order for us to be able to have the continuation of the sales that we are having. And so now, if we are going to look for buying opportunities, we will need price to break above this zone before we would be able to consider any buying opportunity. Before we will be able to consider any buy opportunity. Other than that, we wait for buying opportunity at a lower end in order for us to be able to buy. Now, that resistance that is holding price, you can see we had this area that is a support base that we are seeing, this particular support base that we are having here. This very support base, let me use the red. So we had this particular support base at the weekly level, this area, and currently that is what is holding price for us right now. So if we are going to look for buying opportunity, we want price to break this level, and then we look for buying opportunity into this zone before we would be able to continue ourselves. But currently, whatever price is doing, I am looking at price breaking below this support level. That's the short-term support level. Remember last 2 weeks, that was the zone that we were looking at for price to break for us. That's last week, we were looking at price breaking this particular support level. That's the short-term support level in order for us to be able to continue our sell. But this candle respected the level and pulled back. Now we have this week also looking as if it wants to break the level, but the week has not ended, and so we cannot conclude whether the candle is going to close this way. But should the candle close in this form, Friday close of market, then it means that it has confirmed more selling opportunities that would bring us to 3860. If before the week ends, if price would also bring us to 3860, then we would be grateful, because that is what we are looking for in terms of our first TP before we would be considering our second TP 3285. So currently what price is doing, it keeps respecting this support level that we are seeing at the weekly level. You can see this week candle has also come and is respecting that particular support level, the 4,000 zone. So let's see if we are able to get a 4-hour candle or a daily candle to break 4,000, then it would confirm more selling opportunity for us in order for us to be able to get to our 3680, and then now decide at this level if we're going to buy or price will continue to the downside. Now let's look at the daily time frame and then see what price basically has for us. This is our main zone, which is the support level. Let's see if price will be able to hold it up or break it up for us. But let's look at the daily to confirm our direction, or to look at the various entry areas. Let me clear this since we don't need it now. Okay, so when you look at the daily level, you will be able to tell that price is still giving us the bearish move or still indicating more selling pressure. You can see price gave us a break of this particular level. We had a break of this particular level, indicating to us that price is going down. Now, after the break, we've also had price respecting that particular level, which also happens to be that of the weekly support. So you can see this is the weekly minor support. Price yesterday retested it successfully, and today we are having some sort of continuation of the retest that happened. So all that I'm looking out for today is to see today's daily candle close below 4,000. And once price is able to close below 4,000, it will be an indication that price is likely to continue to the downside. We have a break and then price continues to our TP level 3860. If it would happen today, fine. But if it doesn't, from now till Friday, that is what I am looking at within this particular space. But if price is able to break above this level, then it means that we look for buying opportunities that will lead us into 4191 and possibly lead us around 4255 area. And then we look for more selling opportunities to continue down since price is still bearish. It hasn't given us any major buy breakout for us to know that we are going bullish. So this particular area, price can come retested back and then we move to the downside. Or we can have the daily candle closing below this to give us an indication of continuation to the downside. So currently, I am looking at when we take the 4-hour, if I'm going to take any trade, as we can see, whatever price is doing, if I'm going to take any trade, basically this entry has already been taken. That was yesterday. We had this entry, price taking this entry. So I'm not expecting price to go beyond this very entry that we are having. All other entries around this area has also already been taken, or price has mitigated all other entries around this area. And so I'm not expecting price, if it is going to buy up, I'm not expecting price to break above this level for buy continuation, unless probably price wants to turn bullish. But if we're going to sell, then it means that should price pull back, I just expect price to pull back into this area and drop down, or probably use 1 hour sell entry zones in order for me to get sell entry. So price has mitigated this entry. Now, there was an entry here yesterday, this base. So currently, if price is not going to get all the way to entry again, I'll be expecting price to retap yesterday's entry that price broke out of. I would love to see price retest that zone, pull back into this area, and then continue the sales. So this is what I am looking at the moment. I'm looking at something like this. Price retesting back around the 4060 area and then dropping down. Possibly if we can get price drop down to 3860, that would be nice. But let's see what price has for us. So as you can see, price currently is reacting from a base point currently. So if price does not get to the base point, that is the upper zone, I will be looking at selling opportunities if price is able to break this very zone. If price is able to break the zone that is reacting on right now, if it doesn't buy up, because I'm looking at something like this, price buys into this and then break this particular level in order for us to continue our sales. But if that doesn't happen and price continues to sell because of probably the sell pressure we have, then I would be looking at picking my sales from this particular level and then dropping down with it to our target of 3860. So basically, these are the two areas that I'll be looking out for sales. That's 4060, and that of the 4025 area. I would consider 4025 when the zone breaks. Now let's look at 1 hour and see if maybe it might give us a proper entry zone to consider, since these two zones are very close to each other. So here, I'm not considering buying opportunities. I'm only watching once price is able to break below that level, then we look at it. So here on 1 hour, good. So on 1 hour, okay, let's go to 30 minutes. All right. So on 30 minutes, the entry that we are looking at from 4 hour, which is the 4 hour base or entry that price broke out from. When you look at it on 1 hour, we have a 1 hour entry here. So we can fine tune it to the 1 hour entry that we are having around this area. Okay, so basically, this is what I would be looking out for currently. So this buy, I'll only be watching price. If it's able to break below it, then we now use it as an entry. So basically, when we come to 30 minutes, you would see that that is the entry we are having at 30 minutes. We have this particular entry. After price has been able to mitigate this, the next entry that we are having is this particular entry. Though there was an entry here, but price has not been able to mitigate it. So what I'm looking out for is for price to tap back into 4060 and then continue the drop to the downside. If it doesn't happen and we have a break above it, then it means that we look out for this particular entry, which is our 4080 zone for continuation, or we look out for our 4110. But currently, I'm looking at price using the 4060 zone in order to drop down. But if it doesn't happen and we have a break, then we target the 4080 zone in order to bring us to the downside. So currently, I'm looking at something like this. But if both doesn't happen and price happens to break this level that we have, then it means that we use our 4025 to drop price down if price breaks that particular zone. I will be using that of the 1 hour and then the 4 hour candle to determine the break of this particular zone that we are having for trend continuation. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please do well to subscribe so that anytime we drop a video, you would be able to be the first to be notified in order for you to stay current with the analysis that we are doing. You can also search for Forex GH on Telegram and join the community where I put down trade ideas and trade setup based on the analysis that we have done in order for all of us to benefit from the analysis that we are doing. Remember, we are still bearish on gold, and if we are continuing to be bearish, our first target is 4,000, which has already been hit. But once price is continuing to the downside, we will look at 4,000 again as our first and short-term target. Once we get a break of it, we are targeting 3860 as our first TP. And if price breaks 3860, we would now be looking at our 3285 zone as final sell zone for whatever we are doing on gold. Thank you very much, and God bless you for always watching the video. Remember to send in your comments and also like the video as well as share to your friends. Thank you and have a blessed day.